K-drama Red Swan is received intense plot twist. The car carried the child daughter-in-law and her bodyguard. The car is bombed by a drone. The one controlling the drone to drop bombs. It's none other than the bodyguard and was from protecting equal term. She arrived at the scene on her motorcycle. And Wan-soo was not breathing. Da-yoon was covered in blood. He hurriedly left. Fortunately, Da-yoon woke up from his coma. With his last bit of strength, he pulled open the twisted car door. He rescued Wan-soo just a second before the car exploded. The explosion scattered debris from the car, which struck Da-yoon's back fiercely. After confirming Wan-soo wasn't harmed, his consciousness gradually faded and he eventually passed out. The two were quickly rushed to the hospital due to Da-yoon's severe injuries. The surgery lasted until midnight. It's important to note here, One was kept watching outside. After an unknown amount of time, the surgery finally ended. The doctor notified the security captain. Although the surgery was very successful, the patient's condition still needs to be closely monitored. Coincidentally, Wan overheard this. On the outside, Wan-soo had regained consciousness. Aside from some bruises, she was not in life-threatening danger. Her first words upon waking were asking about Da-yoon. However, the teen has then reminded her, the entire hospital was surrounded by reporters. If you don't want to be photographed, just lie honestly on the hospital bed. Meanwhile, Wan dismissed the nurse on duty, just as she was about to silence Da-yoon. The teen has then suddenly opened the hospital room door. This delayed her attempt to death. He glanced at Da-yoon, said nothing and left the room. Wan prepared to act again. She suddenly realized there was a camera overhead. This meant she couldn't act recklessly. Very around, she reported that the assassination mission had failed. The next day, the police chief was invited to the villa. The mother-in-law publicly pressured him, hoping to capture the true culprit soon. Here's a detail. When the mother-in-law mentioned shootings and bombs, she deliberately looked at Han. After lecturing the chief, Han discreetly handed him a red envelope, then kindly reminded him, failing to catch the culprit means incompetence. Not catching an implies insight. Every time one should face that tap word assassination, the company's stock price would drop by 5 to 10 points. So the explosion incident must be resolved quickly. That department head is quite experienced, immediately understood the implication, indicating they would find the true culprit, lineal on the previous incident in the upcountry. On the other side, Wan-soo worked at Da-yoon's hospital room, but found he was not inside. In fact, Da-yoon utilized connections to get the surveillance footage of the crime scene. As for the scummy husband, they sent the captain to deliver 70 bundles of Tashidan. The captain realized this guy was possibly raising secret funds. It coincided with what Da-yoon mentioned a few days ago. He couldn't help but have doubts in his mind. Could the colleague's death really be related to the group? In the afternoon, Wan-soo prepared to be discharged, but before that, she returned to Da-yoon's room. With a touch of heartfelt reproach, "You merely died. Just one more centimeter." The would have pierced her wand. Do you understand? Danny wasn't hurt. Wan-soo wondered why she'd always tried so hard. Da-yoon casually replied that it was his heart that compelled him. At that moment, Wan-soo's heart completely succumbed. She believed that this man before her, the man who merely died for her. And Da-yoon also felt that emotion. He held her hand tightly. Neither of them spoke again. They leaned on each other. The next day, Wan-soo asked her brother for the ledger again. This time, her brother admitted there were 2 ledgers. The one he had was tampered with. Since he became the chief accountant of the consortium, he knew, if any issues rose, he would become the scapegoat. So no matter how Wan-soo appealed to his emotions, her brother refused to hand it over. That night, the mother-in-law knocked on Secretary Han's door. In fact, they had maintained this relationship for many years. Her disappointed son had seen everything. He had asked his mother about it when he was very young. What if Dad found out? What should we do? Your dad knew it long ago. I personally speculated that the family problems his child had a significant impact on the disappointed son. He might be secretly raising funds to deal with Lawyer Han. The star, Da-yoon also returned to the company. The captain hurried to inform him after hearing the news. He once again helped the disappointed son deliver Tesh, and reminded that Kay had a good relationship with the old chairman. He shouldn't be the mastermind. The mystery is deepening now. The mastermind's target is the consortium, but why kill the old chairman? Why she just happened to see Da-yoon deep in thought? That night, she quietly went to his room. It revealed that the entire village surveillance system was in the butler's room. Additionally, I have a request to make. The Foundation's ledgers are in Laura Han's hands. However, halfway through the conversation, she noticed Da-yoon's body still banded. Feeling somewhat guilty, she said she'd return to her room first. In fact, Da-yoon had already guessed what she's thoughts. He grabbed her arm. "Just leave it to me. Don't do anything." The next day, while the butler was counting the purchased vegetables, Da-yoon sneaked into her room and saw in the surveillance. Laura Han seemed to have something to attend to. Here's the detail. Laura Han often applies lip balm. Then Da-yoon arrived at his doorstep. Unfortunately, she needed home access code. At this moment, the perimeter, the scumbag and Lawyer Han were discussing project details. Coincidentally, the maid brought out 3 used cups. Da-yoon noticed one with lipstick on it. It was heavily used by a parameter. The second one had nothing on it. Most likely, it's the scumbag's. As for the last one, there was a clear lip print on the rim. Consider Lawyer Han's habit. It should be this one, give or take. Da-yoon immediately lifted the fingerprints from it, then printed a fake fingerprint using 3D modeling. Using it, he successfully sneaked into Attorney Han's residence. Coincidentally, he was discovered by Kike. It turns out she is now loyal to Attorney Han, so she immediately reported this matter. After Attorney Han learned the details, he raced home without stopping. However, when he entered, there was no one inside, but he still checked the desk and the safe. Finding nothing unusual, he sighed in relief. However, Attorney Han suddenly remembered a place. He immediately went to the shelf in the corner. only to find that the consortium's ledger was missing. This made him extremely angry, but in an instant he thought of a good idea. Meanwhile, Da-yoon arrived at Won-soo's office with the ledger. The two had a chance to chat in detail. Prosecutor burst in with his team. He not only bought a search warrant, but also an emergency arrest order, and the perhaps of legally possessing assets from the consortium. He arrested Won-soo's brother according to the law.